Dana, you guys have made some positive strides as far as pay, because that seems to be a lot of the fighters that we don't get a thing. And I think the last one, you gave $300,000 bonuses instead of the $50,000 bonuses.
For UFC 300.
For UFC 300. And you have now to get $150,000, I think, if that's the case, and they can come out here and train and nutrition and all that other stuff. So where do we stand on this? How do we get, obviously they're not going to make football money. They're not going to make basketball or baseball money. But obviously I think some of the fighters says, considering what's at stake, I think the pay should be more.
Well, nobody really knows how much a lot of these guys make. And guess what? These guys don't want you to know how much they make either.
Right.
There's a narrative from, people that don't like the UFC,
right.
don't like me, right. or whatever it might be. And these guys don't know what these guys really make. And the other thing is that the money is spread out from the top to the bottom.
Right.
We have guys who would be considered journeymen in boxing who've made millions of dollars.
Right.
And if you don't like the way that it's run here, there's no barrier to entry. Start your own mixed martial arts organization and you pay the guys whatever you think you want them.
Right.
It's been done by many, many powerful, rich, smart businessmen, and they don't succeed.
No.
I've built a business that has lasted, that has changed many people's lives.
Right.
And, if you think you can do it better than me, knock yourselves out. Most of this narrative is by scumbag reporters.
Okay.
Who have never built anything in their life, who have no idea what it's like to run a business, and who have no idea what it's like for people to depend on a paycheck from them. So I could care less.
I look at you guys, Dana, you're like the NFL. You remember the USFL? They tried to compete against the NFL.
100%.
It didn't work. And we've seen other leagues try to compete against the NFL. And the UFL says, you know what? We're going to pay you more. And it didn't work. Why do you think that the organizations that come up against you and have all these genius ideas where we're going to do X, Y, and Z, why do you think they fail?
Well, we felt the same way. I mean, when we bought the UFC, we were like, wow, this is going to be great. We'll be friends with all the fighters and we'll do this and do that. But then once you get into it and you start to realize the reality and you're $40 million in the hole and you're trying to fight to survive, we change people's lives every day in many different ways. And I'm very happy with what we've accomplished and what we've done and what we continue to do, not just for the fighters, but for our employees who work here at the UFC. We continue to grow the sport. We continue to get more people involved from other countries. And we reinvest in the sport. When you look at what boxing did, everybody's like, oh, boxing, every fucking event that they put on, it's a going out of business sale. Let's grab as much money as we can from everybody. We don't care if the event is good. We don't care if the people at home enjoy what they saw. We don't care if the people who came and bought tickets liked it.
Right.
We just want to grab as much money as we can. They never reinvested in the sport. Tell me a sport or any business ever in the history of the world that has probably made trillions of dollars in revenue. And at the end of the day, there's nothing there.
Right.
That's boxing. We built a brand that fans believe in and trust. They know when they buy tickets or a pay-per-view, they're going to get what they paid for. And everybody is taken care of from the top to the bottom. Professional sports isn't a job. It's an opportunity, right? You were given an opportunity. You were good enough to get an opportunity where you could go out in a very short
period of time
and make as much money as you could possibly make. And it gave you a platform to be here today having this conversation.
Yeah.
That is what professional sports is all about. And that is what we provide for lots of different people who are great like Conor McGregor and people that you'll never know their name. You wouldn't even know who the hell they are if you saw them in the street. That's what we do.
The crossover. Some of you guys, Conor did it first, boxed Floyd Mayweather. And we've seen some of the other fighters, O'Malley, I think he wants to go into boxing. Where are you on that? Because look, it was great because Conor and Floyd is big time. You got big personality. You got Floyd, arguably one of the greatest fighter ever. And so you got great. Where are you on that now, Dana? Are you?
I don't know if you see people that are like, oh, I want to go into boxing. I think that boxing calls out a lot of our guys.
Yes.
Because they know that's where the money is,
Correct.
right? We built the right model, a sustainable model, and a model that works for everybody and changes everybody's lives. If your opinion is, again, I think these guys, well, how much money? What's the number? Because most of the time, most of these guys in boxing will say, well, I want 40 million for that. Well, how does that fucking make sense? Boxing got so fucked up that nobody could actually make a living out of it and people couldn't, right? That Saudi Arabia had to take it over.
Right.
A group of people that have so much money, they don't care whether they make or lose money. That's how fucked up boxing got, that's where that had to go.
Wow.
Right? That's why this guy is making all these fights that he's making right now. Like Tyson Fury versus Usyk, that's a fight that should have happened. It took Turkey to make that fight.
Right.
Because they have unlimited funds, and whether they make money or don't,
They don't care.
they don't care. I just saw that because of piracy, that fight lost like $100 million or something like that, or 20 to 100
Wow.
million. I don't know what the number was, but that's what you need for boxing.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
I do give a shit whether I lose money or not.
Absolutely. You're not a nonprofit.
we built a sustainable business
Right.
that can continue to go on and continue to give opportunities
Right.
to lots of different people from all over the world.
Another guy you've had some verbal spats with that's been very publicized is Oscar De La Hoya. And I think it goes back to, I think he said you blocked a fight with he and George St. Pierre. Is that where it started from? Or
Talk about Jake Paul. Like me and Jake Paul have had whatever.
Right.
Jake Paul's a kid that's out doing his thing. He's trying to make some money,
Right.
whatever his deal is. Oscar De La Hoya
okay.
is a two-faced lion fucking nut job. And yeah, me and Oscar are never going to be cool.
Y'all never gonna be cool again.
Never, ever. Fuck.
But were you cool?
Look at anybody who's ever dealt with Oscar De La Hoya. I don't know if that guy literally has any fucking buddy who's his real friend.
Were you guys ever cool at any point in time?
We're cool. I mean, obviously, for all the things I think about De La Hoya personally, as a fighter, Oscar was a bad
He
dude.
was. He was.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Oscar was the real deal. But as a human being, completely different. He and I would go to his fights. I used to promote his fights on my social. I was watching the fight or whatever. Then I go to do Mayweather versus McGregor, and he starts shitting on the fight, yet saying, I would fight McGregor, though. So
Yeah,
he's just, I mean, if you look at the history between me and him, I'm going to get into MMA
Right.
and pay these guys what they deserve to be paid. No, he didn't. And, the guys that were involved in that fight all got fucked.
Right.
He didn't pay them more than they ever made in their careers. He didn't even know half the guys' fucking names on the card. And the list goes on and on with that guy.
Want to join Club Shay Shay? Become an official member by hitting that subscribe button, where you never know who's going to be joining us for drinks and conversation. Don't be late to the party, because we like to do something before two something.